thank you for watching. Welcome to my channel. For those who are new here, take a look around, I guess. Today I want to make an improvised video about how being a Jehovah's Witness changes relationships. And it's kind of a specific subject, I guess. And I haven't written down anything on paper, so I'm just going to make up things as I go. Hey, look who's joining us today. This is Jackie. For those who haven't seen her in the previous videos. Well, I'm not going to make up stuff, obviously, but I'm going to talk about my own experiences in the Jehovah's Witness organization and friendships and relationships. I'm all snuggled up in a cat blanket, and a double cat blanket, because here I have a real cat, and there's a cat on this blanket as well. See? I bought it a long time ago in Poland. So this is a very Slavic thing, actually, like blankets with animals on them. So just so you know. So as you may or may not know, I've been actually an active Jehovah's Witness from the ages of 11 till 19, I guess. And I was never baptized, so I wasn't officially a Jehovah's Witness. I also never was a unbaptized publisher. I just went to the meetings and into field service and to the book studies and the theocratic ministry school that still existed back then. I don't know if it exists in the same way right now, but yeah. So I went to the meetings with my mom and with some friends of mine. But being a Jehovah's Witness, it does have a big influence on how you see friendships, because when it comes to friendships, as a kid I really had a hard time acquiring friends, because I was bullied a lot, and there's no specific reason why I was bullied, but I guess I was the odd kid out. I never really had a lot of friends. Sometimes I just had this one friend or two friends, or a friend I would stay with after school, as in this friend's mom would be my, well, not really babysitter, but she would take care of us, and I would eat there, and after dinner my mom would come and get me after she was done with work. I had those kinds of friends, and but I wasn't really surrounded by friends, you know. When I was around, I guess 12, 13, 14, I was bullied a lot, and everyone just tries to fit in. You have a hard time if you're a kind of a straight kid, or you dress differently, or I don't know. Kids are cruel, but I was bullied a lot. And when I guess when I was 14, yeah, I developed some relationships with some girls in my class. Friendships, not relationships. From that time on, I actually had some friends. But it was strange, because I was an active member of the congregation. Well, not active as in baptized and stuff, but people knew me, you know. And I was active in field service and that kind of stuff. And I wanted to be a good Jehovah's Witness, although I really didn't have any reasons to follow those rules, other than, yeah, those are the rules, and you should follow them, and because the Watchtower says so, you know. And at that age, as someone who goes through puberty, and I don't think people have really great developed critical thinking skills and abilities. So you don't really think why you do something, you just go with the flow. So I had this friend, and I still have this friend. We rekindled our friendship, and in a couple of weeks he's going to come here and stay the weekend. It's gonna be a lot of fun and drinking probably. Yeah, he's a great guy. Um, he was actually my only friend in the congregation, and well, first I befriended his sister and later on him. Um, but it was kind of strange with the friends I had outside the congregation because nowadays and maybe back then as well, it wasn't really encouraged to have worldly friends. Although I had worldly friends because I didn't give a crap about people's religion back then, and I still don't give a crap about that now. I mean, people are who they are, and religion won't affect that. Um, and also, my mom wasn't that strict. She also has friends outside the religion and contacts outside the religion. So she never got angry with me, or she never encouraged me to only be friends with kids from the congregation. But it was kind of hard because as a Jehovah's Witness, you're not really allowed to do fun things. And of course, I went out with them, but going out with those kind of friends, it wasn't like going out to like dancing clubs or whatever, parties. It was more like having a quiet evening with a beer, playing pool, that kind of stuff, or hanging out at someone's house. So nothing shocking really, you know. But when it came to celebrating birthdays, I always was the odd one out. You know, I always had to say no, I'm not coming because yeah, birthdays aren't really my thing. Because at a certain age, it's kind of lame to say, yeah, because of my faith, I'm not celebrating any birthdays. And I used to do that, and it sounds horrible and super cringe-worthy. But as a kid, like 12 years old, 13 years old, you really don't have the ability to explain this bullshit rule. Why Jehovah's Witnesses aren't supposed to be celebrating birthdays. And even if I was able to explain it, it wouldn't make any sense at all to anyone, ever. Because what was I supposed to say? Like, yeah, there was this guy who had his head chopped off and served on a plate to some king. So we're not celebrating any birthdays because that horrible stuff happened on his birthday. Or yeah, we aren't supposed to have all the attention on ourselves. We aren't that important. We shouldn't be idolized. It doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me back then, and it doesn't make sense to me right now. But it's crazy. It's crazy how I didn't realize it back then. How it's crazy. I don't even have words for it. I'm at a loss for words. So so that brought kind of a little bit of tension, and of course the Jehovah's Witnesses are programmed that way, that they don't do stuff that worldly people do, and it's to set them apart from non-Jehovah's Witnesses and Jehovah's Witnesses. So if they're now part of this world, they get kind of excluded and persecuted, as they call it, which makes no sense at all. It's actually, yeah, they behave strangely, and then people don't invite them anymore or make some bad remarks, and it's like, oh, we're getting persecuted, see? So that's how it works. And so I never celebrated any birthdays when I was a young adult, really. So that would set me apart from the group. And also, I got into a relationship with this guy. He was from my school, and we both failed our first attempt at going to university. He quit his study after a couple of months, and so did I. Didn't have anything to do with one another, but yeah, the studies didn't suit our interests or needs. So we quit the study and we went on working in this factory where they make glasses. So we kind of, yeah, we hit it off, really. Although in school we were really involved with each other, or not in a romantic way. But at work we, I don't know, there was a spark, there was this chemistry, and we fell in love. And it was, I don't know, magical. No, I wouldn't say it was magical, but yeah, it was great. That first couple of months being in love and stuff. But he and his friends, who also later on became my friends, although they aren't my friends anymore, so they were more his friends than my friends, really. But I knew them from school, and we used to hang out. They were planning a holiday. They were going to Croatia, and I really didn't make any specific plans for that summer. It was summer of 2009. And my mom actually forbade me to go with them because, I quote, "You're not going to act like a whore or like a prostitute." I don't know, something along those lines. And I was like, what exactly do you mean? I'm in a relationship with this guy, and there was another couple coming with us, as in his best friend and his girlfriend, which also was kind of my friend. We were in the same class, she and I, and 3 more guys. And this whole group consisted of basically nerds. They were all nerds. They were like predators or creepy guys. We were just 2 couples and 3 more friends of ours. So we were 7 in total. And because there will be so many guys and I will be there with my boyfriend, that will be considered inappropriate. And at the time I was 18, 19. So basically I was an adult according to law. The next year I did go with them on holiday, but yeah, I was kind of sad afterwards that I didn't go with them, although I went to Poland with another friend and it was great. But I missed out on this opportunity and it really sucked. When it comes to having friendships outside of the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's also very hard to talk about that with the Jehovah's Witnesses in your congregation or in other congregations. When you tell a nice story you really want to share with someone in a congregation, people always tend to ask like, "Oh, in what congregation is this person?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're not in a congregation. They aren't Jehovah's Witnesses." Then the mood would suddenly, how you call it, the positive mood would subside, I guess. And when I had this boyfriend, I told this acquaintance that was my age from the congregation, like, yeah, we're having a relationship, and we've been together for 1 year, 1.5 years or something. And she was like, "Oh," like as if she couldn't be happy for me. Like, "Oh, yeah, this is a worldly guy. That's not going to end up well." And I guess I told this story before in another video, but before we officially were a couple, I hung out at his place, at his parents' place. And his parents were super nice people, very friendly, very hospitable, and they would actually leave us alone when they went to bed because their bedroom was downstairs and his was upstairs, and we would hang out upstairs and watch movies, and they would just leave us alone. They would just like yell upstairs like, "Guys, we're going to bed, good night." They wouldn't even be checking what's going on there. I mean, not like my mother. Like she always came up to the attic where I was sleeping, and the attic was kind of open. It didn't have a door, and she didn't really even came calling. Like she just went up there as if she would try to catch us doing something. Well, that never happened. I'm happy that never happened, because that would be really awkward. I wouldn't know how to explain. So his parents were super chill, and one day we were just hanging out at his place, and we were having a Final Destination Marathon. Yeah, I love those movies. Like, it's horrible, but it's, yeah, it's nostalgia, right? So suddenly it was very late and we were like on the couch cuddling, and it was super cute and romantic, and none of us actually wanted to break up, really, to go home, and it was getting very late. And yeah, I mean, I promised my mom he would bring me home if it would be after 12, so after midnight. And he did, but it was 5:30 in the morning, and it was already, it wasn't even dark anymore outside, so he brought me home. My stepdad was already up because he has to work very early, and he told my mom, and my mom told these people that I was hanging out with a lot, this couple from the congregation who didn't have any kids of their own, and I spent a lot of time there, and I thought they were really chill people, you know, like we listened to music a lot, like rock music, like Whitesnake, Kiss, all the good stuff that's mostly considered like bad stuff. I thought like, yeah, they were chill, they weren't having any problems with whatever, you know. And they became really mad. I remember like the guy of the couple, he was just standing there with the Bible in his hands and like looking up all these verses that talked about relationships and bad association. I was like, yeah, but nothing happened. We didn't have sex or something. We didn't do anything sexual. We just cuddled on the couch and we're like, I don't know, like it was kind of stressful but romantic as well. We were like, I don't know, it was like confirming we really had a thing for each other. And they were so mad, and they told me I should break it off with this guy, and I felt really terrible because I want to do the good thing, and I was like discussing with myself really if I had to break it off because it was for the greater good, and I couldn't see him anymore, but I really, really liked him, and it was kind of a dilemma, and it wasn't really tearing me apart, but I was thinking a lot about it. But as I decided to do what my heart told me to. So yeah, we got into a relationship, and this guy, he just sent me a text on Valentine's Day, like telling me like, yeah, I don't have any heart-shaped candy for you or black roses, but my thoughts are for you today, and not only today. And I was like, oh my god, I was like so anxious, and we had to see each other at work that day, and I just acted as if nothing had happened. I was so, oh, my heart was pounding, and I was just, it was great, but it was a strange situation. And afterwards we just hung out, and I'll always have fond memories of that, although the breakup was really bad and intense and very saddening. But they were really mad and disturbed and disappointed in me. And I'm like, what is really the problem here? I mean, I'm an adult. I can have a relationship with whoever I want to, right? I mean, this guy, he's so chill, and his parents are as well. He wasn't going to make me not go to the meetings or something. And to be fair, he was a really respectful person when it comes to that. And he was, one day he even said, yeah, I really admire you for having something you believe in and going to the meetings and stuff. Just do your thing. He wasn't a bad guy at all. When it came to that, he wasn't like the bad association that made me quit my good habits. Although he was the one that made me wake up, really, and not really, it wasn't really a conscious thing, the waking up process. But he started studying again the following year in the city I'm currently living in. And I actually followed him because I didn't really know what I want to study, but I was sure I would want to be with him. So I moved here, and I found a study here for me. And And that was only when we were together for half a year. The relationship lasted another 1.5 years after that, which is quite long for when you're 18, 19 years old, for a relationship to last that long. But I stayed here and I never left. But after moving here, I guess I only went to the meetings once, and people love bombed me there, and I found it really creepy. And yeah, that didn't vibe well with me, so I just didn't went anymore. I only went to the memorial each year. I guess I went here once, and the rest of the memorials I attended with my mom. The moment I actually stopped going to meetings made me realize I don't miss this religion. I don't miss going door to door in field service. I don't miss going to meetings. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. And the people, the horrible worldly people, aren't as horrible as they always are. I call it how the Jehovah's Witnesses talk about them. And also this boyfriend I had at that time, I really loved him, and it made me realize that we're all just human, and it doesn't matter what religion you're from, what religion you support. You can be a loving person and a respectful person. He wasn't religious at all. Maybe his parents were Catholics once. I have no idea. They weren't religious as well. But they accepted me, and they invited me to their birthdays and stuff. And I never went. And afterwards, right now, I actually feel a little bit sorry and ashamed. And it must have been kind of weird for him to have to explain himself all the time. Like, yeah, my girlfriend is a Jehovah's Witness. She doesn't go to birthdays. She doesn't celebrate birthdays. Maybe it must have been lonely for him. I realize that now, but he never bothered me about it. He wasn't angry, or never made me feel ridiculous. The relationship ended basically because, yeah, he told me we both had very different views on life and wanted different things in our futures. And he didn't have to say it, but I knew he meant that I don't want to have kids, and he wanted to have kids, and I wasn't going to change my stance on that. It's been 11 years. I haven't changed a bit. So that was really sad. The breakup was really painful. It was mostly the birthdays and the other Christmas stuff and other holidays that I couldn't celebrate with my friends while being in an organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, because Watchtower told us not to. So we missed out on a lot of fun stuff. Kind of makes me sad, but it also makes me want to not miss out on anything anymore in the future. And that's why I celebrated my 30th birthday this year. It was great. It was great. There wasn't a demonic thing about it. It was great. We had some drinks. There was a lot of food and fun and nice conversation, nice presents. Made me realize, like, my friends are really important to me. But relationships with Jehovah's Witnesses were always really strained because, as I've told in previous videos, I still do have some contacts in the Jehovah's Witness world right now. I have a couple of acquaintances that I used to visit when I visit my mom, and they always are actually happy to see me. But it's not that I really like them, but not because they're Jehovah's Witnesses, but because they're fun people to be around. They have great sense of humor. We like the same music, but they decided they never needed to shun me, maybe because I was never baptized. But every time I talk to them, it's kind of hard to be really, really myself, you know? I'm really passionate about the ex-Jehovah's Witness movement, really. And although I don't do any activism myself, the stuff that John Cedars does, for example, he's great. And I'm sure that is something that we need to speak up about. We need to tell Jehovah's Witnesses about that. But a lot of people are really physically and mentally in, so they can't really be reached mentally. When it comes to the truth about the truth, it's actually the truth about the truth, right? I really want to talk about those subjects with them. It doesn't work because they always have this ridiculous, like, emotion-based responses to that, you know? Once I told this couple what I was talking that I was talking about previously, about how shunning kills people because people commit suicide. The woman was like, "That's not true. People don't commit suicide because they're being shunned." And I was like, "What?" Just like downplaying it like that. It makes me sick, really. They don't want to open their eyes because people need something to believe in. They think they need something to believe in. It's very hard to talk about that kind of stuff with people. Also, my friend who still lives there, will be here in a couple of weeks. His mom is a really nice lady. She's always very happy to see me. But when we try to talk about the bad stuff that's happening because of Watchtower, she's very dismissive as well. And she's like, "Yeah, you guys are just so negative and I don't need to listen to that." Like, la 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 la. You know, it's so frustrating. And the same with my mom. Although my mom isn't very, isn't that kind of a fanatic, I guess. Because she doesn't shun me. Our relationship always was kind of strained. But it wasn't because of being a Jehovah's Witness or not being a Jehovah's Witness. It's very hard to really be yourself in front of Jehovah's Witnesses. Because I'm very passionate about stuff that I like. And some things I can be honest about. Like my sports, I do aerial silks, which is the best thing ever. So much fun. And people are like, "Oh, that's really cool." But I cannot be passionate about, piercings or wanting to have tattoos, about music that are really like heavy metal and horror movies. I'm into a lot of morbid stuff. Always have been, actually. As a kid, I watched these documentaries on TV about serial killers and about how you call it, morticians, and these people who would cut open dead bodies to see what the cause of death was. I was so interested in that kind of stuff, still am. So I love the morbid and the gross, I guess. I always felt the need to express myself, and that wasn't really possible when being Jehovah's Witness. I missed like the period of puberty where you can rebel against your parents and do crazy stuff like having piercings and having very extreme outfits. I'm making up for lost time, and I don't think you're ever too old to do that. So that's why relationships aren't really real while being a Jehovah's Witness. They aren't really genuine. At least inside the Jehovah's Witness community, they aren't. Outside of the Jehovah's Witness community, you can be yourself, but you also feel kind of guilty. Your conscience tells you not to be great friends with them because they're worldly, and if they don't accept Jehovah, they will be destroyed anyway in Armageddon. So, but I never viewed people like that, and so now I do realize that now I can have real friendships, because it took me a long time to let go of some of the doctrines, like not celebrating birthdays. I didn't really feel okay with that. It made me feel kind of bad, and I didn't feel comfortable with that. So, but the beautiful thing really is when I celebrated my birthday this year for the first time, and no one even questioned it. Everyone was like, "Oh, nice, you're throwing a birthday party. Yeah, I'll be there." Everyone who told me they would be there was there, so it was great. It was great. Nobody even questioned me like, "Wait, you didn't celebrate birthdays before. Why are you celebrating it now?" But I made a toast on my birthday, which is also forbidden, right? And I told everyone, well, like, yeah, it's super great you guys all here, and I'm happy to be celebrating my birthday. I'm not in a cult anymore. I thank you so much for coming. And I held a short speech for each and every one of my friends who were there, and say something nice about them, and to roast them a little bit, of course. Um, and everyone was enjoying themselves. It was a fun time. So I realized that relationships are way better now that I don't have to serve Watchtower and to think about what's right and what's wrong. And Watchtower always thinks that people who don't want to listen to them anymore, just want to be worldly and do horrible things, just go out, smoke, use drugs, drink excessive amounts of alcohol, have sex with everyone, that kind of stuff. And it's not true. It's not true, because if you have friends like that only show destructive behavior and want you to join them as well, they're not your friends. It's time to look for other friends. But I don't have friends like that. Yeah, so they're just like super chill people who appreciate me, and I really do appreciate them back. So you need that kind of people to surround yourself with, where you can be your true self and not some fabricated image that you want them to see of yourself, really. I mean, there's a lot of fakeness and plastic in this world already. Just be yourselves. I once heard of this quote, like, be yourself, there are already so many others. Sounds very logical, but it makes sense, right? So I feel like I can be free now and be myself, whatever that may be. I don't have to fake anything. I don't have to please people. And I always was kind of well, not really rebellious, but I always had a rebellious streak. So I don't think people are very surprised that I went my own way and made my own decisions in life. You can only be your best self when you're not under the influence of a cult. So that's everything I have to say for now, really. So maybe you have your own experiences with friendships and relationships while being a Jehovah's Witness. If you'd like to share experiences, leave it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are feeling well. You're doing well out there despite the whole Corona situation. Stay safe. Don't get yourself into dangerous situations. And I guess you'll see me next time in the next video. Have a great day.